Welcome back, sporting fans, to another spectacular episode of the Paint the Wall podcast. I, as always, am your host, Steve, and I am back this week, finally. Now, I had recorded an episode that was set to upload last week, but then we got the incredibly heartbreaking news of Gadi passing, and I didn't feel it was right to upload that video and not mention it in the same week. So here we are with a different episode. We'll start this one off right with that news. As all of you likely know, Gadi was battling an undisclosed complex medical situation, as stated in the Kansas City Star, and had been for several weeks up to that point. A battle that he tragically lost on last Tuesday. Gadi came to SKC on loan in 2020 and signed with the team the next year. He played through the 2023 season when he was not re-signed, much to the dismay of several fans, including members of this podcast. Gadi scored 15 goals and had 13 assists during his time with SKC. He played an integral part in our attack, eventually earning himself the number 10 in 2022, though he wouldn't truly wear it until 2023 after missing the 2022 season with a knee injury. Gadi was loved by players and fans alike during his time with SKC. I personally was able to meet him at a couple different media events, and I introduced myself as Steve from the Paint the Wall podcast. And I remember one time I told him, it's a podcast that nobody's ever heard of. And he said, you do it because you love it, not because people listen to it. And that kind of always stuck with me. So that was just kind of a nice thing that I remember from a time that I met him. He said that because he's right. We do it because we love it, not because people listen to us, you know. Though I am thankful for those who do listen, but he's right. We do it for us, not for other reasons, you know. Like I said, Gadi was well loved by players and fans alike during his time. This love was on full display during this past weekend's thriller versus New England Revolution. Prior to the game, players had mentioned how they would be playing this game and the rest of the season for Gadi in Gadi's memory. Gadi was honored before the match by the club. Several players were wearing undershirts that said Kinda 10. I think one said R.I.P. Gadi. I don't remember. There may have been a couple other ones. I don't remember off the top of my head. But we did get to see, after several goals and an impressive performance by the club. Though his time with SKC was short, the impact on the team was clearly large. He will definitely be missed, and our thoughts at this podcast, of course, are with his family. Now, transitions from something like that are never smooth and never good, but we have to move on to the next topic, I guess. Aside from that lovely tribute in this week's game, it was also a fascinating fight by our boys, who showed immense passion and drive that we haven't really seen in recent games. They were down 2-0 at the half. Daniel Shallowy slots home a goal in the 53rd minute, and it was off to the races. Joveljic scores a penalty in the 59th minute, and Manu completes the 3-goal in 16-minute surge to make it 3-2 for the good guys. Now, unfortunately, in true SKC fashion, New England are able to get the tying goal in the 84th minute, and this game ends in a 3-3 draw. Story of our life. But a point is a point as we approach the halfway point of this season. But those are going to need to start turning into 3 points if we have any hope of salvaging this season. Now, this draw does make 3 in a row since our loss at Portland. I did kind of break down those games in the previous video that didn't get uploaded. I'm not really going to break down them again because they were weeks ago. But those games do include a 2-2 loss to our little brothers to the east in St. Louis, a 0-0 draw out in San Diego, and now this one. Draws will keep your head up, but again, we have to figure out a way to turn these into 3 points, or this season is going to be over. As it sits 2 games from the halfway point, we find ourselves in 13th place in the West. But we are only 6 points out of the playoffs, which is definitely doable. But we do need to start finding some wins. A difficult stretch of games coming up as we take on Houston and to finish out May. Then we will play LAFC, FC Dallas, Charlotte, and our first meeting with former club legend Johnny Russell's RSL side in the end of the month of June. Of these, LAFC and Charlotte are the only current playoff teams. The other three are the three teams directly between us and the playoffs. Some wins over these next 5 games would do huge things in terms of playoff standings, which kind of makes them a must-win. At least a few of them. It's still early enough in the season, we probably don't have to win all of those to still make the playoffs, but being able to beat those teams that are in that position would be crucial. I do hope we're up for the challenge there. I hope that this push from this last game is more of what we see and less of this 0-0 draw we had out in San Diego, that kind of stuff. We can't have those kind of performances. That's going to lead to us losing the season. So I hope we have more of a push. Joveljic keeps pushing. I hope Shallowy keeps up this form that he's in this season, being a lot more helpful and a lot more productive. I hope we continue to get push from guys in the midfield like Manu and Tommy when he's on the field. And our defenders, Logan and Jake and those guys continue to push up the field and keep pushing our offense to be productive and be inspiring and create chances. That's really the only way that we have any hope of keeping this going and making it happen. So I hope we can keep it going. I do, as we talked about last episode with Logan, it does seem that Carey's strategy seems to be working. Carey Zavagnin, that is. Hopefully we can keep that going. He can keep rolling. He can keep pushing the team to do greater things. I guess it just kind of, we'll just have to see where we end up, As we approach this halfway point, we're not where we're at, but I think we're trending up. I've been thinking we're trending up for weeks, though, so, is this the plateau? I don't know. Will we have anybody coming in the summer window? That'd be kind of nice, but who knows? It's hard to riff on that kind of stuff when we don't have other people to talk to with about it, but I'd love to get your guys' feedback. Maybe we can go from there. Anyway, I do want to thank you all again for the continued support. Despite my inconsistent upload schedule, inconsistent at best. Life is busy, you all know, but I will continue to make these episodes as often as I can. In the meantime, I do encourage you guys to be active with me on social media platforms. Make sure you like and sub on YouTube. Those are free things that help me immensely. Likes and subscribes on YouTube. Super easy. You don't even have to watch the YouTube video if you don't want to. Leave it play in the background, click like. That's all you need. I'd be grateful for that. These things help push me to make additional content. Also, if there's things that you want to talk about, if there's things you want my opinion on, if you want to be a guest co-host, reach out to me. Let me know. I'm open to having guest co-hosts on here. I've had a couple already. We have a few coming up that hopefully we can nail down some scheduling with. If you have guest co-hosts you'd like to see me talk to, let me know who they are. We'll get them on. And who knows, maybe if there's even some interest, maybe we could even do like some live streams on some games. As you guys know, or if you've been listening, I live in Colorado, so I don't get to go to the games, except for the July game coming up here in Colorado. I'll be at that one for sure. With Ryan from a couple episodes ago. We'll be there with them in the Front Range supporters group. We'll be out there with them. But maybe we could live stream some of the games if anybody would be interested to watch and hang out with us. Do that. I'd be down. Let me know what you guys think there. But until next time, be kind to one another, and do me a favor. Reach out this week to a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while, and just see how they're doing. Let loved ones know that you care and that you're always there for them. Because you never know when you won't get that chance to do it again. But I will see you all in the next episode.